Heidi, Haida, Haidu. Heidi, Haida, Haidu.
Something like that. Sam, can you hear us? Sammy.
Sam,
Hello. No, we don't hear you.
maybe you need a microphone or a plug or a voice. Try with a voice. You're alive, but no voice.
He's a sock puppet. Sock puppet.
Yes, but I can see the strings.
So, Heiner, it seems that Germany is trying to figure out how to raise an army in order to deal with Ukraine, Russia.
Well, maybe a minority of crazy people. Um, it is a nightmarish situation. And some people who look a little bit long view, big picture, find it's a very dangerous trigger. And it is done by one right-wing party, which is really playing between Putin or with Putin and Trump. And I think it's very much gambling. And for sure, our constitution, everything is not made. And after the war, we said we don't want an army, and then we had an army. Then we don't want the missiles, and then we had the missiles. And now you have an American government. I'm really having no answer for you, but definitely it is not Germany wanting to go into a war with a small state
I
supporting
didn't think
other
so.
small states.
I didn't think so. But
You don't think
there's,
so?
I didn't think so. Like you, I didn't think Germany wanted to do that. But I also think that it's dangerous times for all of Europe.
Indeed.
Sammy, did you fix your voice? Don't hear you.
A loudspeaker will not help. He doesn't seem to hear us.
I think he hears us.
I hear you fine.
There he is. We
Yes,
There
got
he
you
was.
just a moment.
you do hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I hear you. You hear me? Okay, fine. That took too long. Sorry.
You were breaking lots of glitches nowadays
Okay.
between states and cultures.
By the way, I for the next foreseeable 6 to 7 weeks, my Saturdays, Samstag, I have a hard stop at 9 a.m. Pacific. So I only have 1 hour for this particular day. Sundays is still unimpeded, so we can go for 2 hours on Sunday. But I have a class now that always starts at 9 a.m. Pacific on Saturdays. So I don't think that's going to bother you too much. Jack normally leaves around that time anyway.
Yeah, no, I have to fix breakfast.
Right.
So what's this class?
It's a class on futures trading. So I'm
It's a class on what?
futures trading,
Well, so that's are we talking stock futures or commodities?
NASDAQ futures.
NASDAQ futures.
Yes.
Well, and so is it uh, a fundamentalist class, like Warren Buffett, or is it basically a stock, a ticker watcher,
Actually, it
technical?
encompasses all of that, but I would say 80% of it is the mindset.
Well, of
It's about
course.
emotional control, it's about discipline, it's about patience, it's about
Yep,
winning and
yep, yep,
losing,
yep.
it's about probability, it's about remaining calm, it's about risk management, it's about allocation sizing, it's about FOMO, it's about all of that. That's like 80, 85% of it. And I
Do
think
they
that's
go
actually
into
very good.
options trading for safety?
No, no, this is purely futures and only futures. So it's a interesting take, and I've actually seen enough of it that I actually like this particular group and what it's saying and how it's doing things. So
Sam,
anyway, that's what the class is, and it's not going to last forever. So that's why it's only for the next several weeks, and then we can resume our longer situations if we need to.
I only have a very short question and I might have to jump out. I was sending you an email, Sam,
Yes.
about next Sunday and the Monday,
So
December 8th.
so not tomorrow. Okay. So December 8th. Interesting. That's a curious date. Yeah.
Did you see the mail about the
I
C
didn't
space?
see the mail. I did see that you posted something in LinkedIn, which I saw.
Did you look into the C space?
Not yet. I think I did years ago when you brought it up, but not recently, not based on this last communication.
No, it is an event I'm doing um, with you maybe on Sunday 7th. And as a Heiner 2020, Heiner 25 birthday party, like 4 years ago. And we want to have a hybrid event in this C space, which is people like you from technology, science culture, Hong Kong, Singapore, Tokyo, um, Beijing, the Asia-European bridge, and
Okay.
taking not just entrepreneurs into that, but really also the tech with people. It is a foundational hub for entrepreneurs coming from Eastern countries. And that's why I was informing you about the C space already. I would like you to know if you could also join us on my birthday on the 8th. It would be this time or maybe even 2 hours earlier because I have to catch the people in Tokyo and New Zealand.
Okay.
And if not, could you open the room? Because I'm so full with a lot of preparations, but I would like to really kick it up a little bit on Sunday next week. And then it is our Sunday tea salon uh, history, where I get the East and the West people talking about peace and technology and science systems and cultural systems and all this. So, Jack, you are most cordially invited. It would be in 9 days and in 8 days. This time, and maybe best would be we start not now, but 1 hour, better 1.5 hour earlier, because the physical thing starts exactly at this time at 17 hours, my time, CET. He's silent again. Silent. You muted.
I mute myself whenever I have to fart, just so you know. Okay.
Oh, well, we like the sound of farts. You do know that farts are an art form.
Have you heard the recording? This is a recording from like the 1950s. That's pretty funny. But anyway, glad to know that it's not something you shun, Jack. but others may not feel the same way.
You do know that the Tesla has a hidden feature known as the whoopee cushion.
No.
A whoopee cushion is a thing that you would put on somebody's chair, and when they sit down, it makes a loud fart. And Tesla built that into the seats of the car, and the driver has a little secret control. He can turn it on in a given seat and blow somebody out of the water.
Anyway, since you mentioned that, I'm glad I didn't buy a Tesla.
Well,
Okay, Heiner.
Can you
when
give
you,
me an answer? Because I have to run
Yeah, I'm
away.
looking at my calendar. I was about to answer that.
Oh, you have many calendars, I believe.
Yeah, no,
And
I
the
have only
synchronization is a problem.
no, I only have one calendar really, but it appears in two different apps, but they're synchronized. Okay, so it's a danger to have more than one calendar. You know, I learned that after so many years. Okay, so Heiner, on the 7th,
Sunday.
I heard you say you wanted to start at 6 a.m. my time.
On Monday, I would like to start this time, but 1.5 hours earlier. And on Sunday, if you would give me 20 minutes or so, I would really tell you a little bit what I consider Heiner 2025 and my coming out and my life's resume.
Okay.
What it means to
you
science
do
system, cultural systems, peace, and whatever.
you do know, Heiner, that here in the colonies, coming out has a different meaning.
No, I don't know. But
It
is
it
it bad? I think I
it
need
it's
it coming out.
coming out is admission that you are gay or homosexual.
No, I'm not.
You're coming out of the closet is the way the phrase goes.
No, no, no. So it's my,
That's a cultural thing. You wouldn't know that.
It's very provincial, yes.
well, I could have picked it up, but I had too many gay people around Berkeley, San Francisco in the early 70s, but I never considered it so narrow.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so Sunday you want to start. I'm still trying to get the time down, Heiner, because you say this time, but an hour and a half earlier. So that's not this time, right? That's an hour and a half earlier or later. Yeah. So I just want a specific time, Heiner.
Yes, it is 15:30, 3:30 Central European Time.
Okay,
And
so
we
that would be
always
6:30.
do
But
our session at 7, 17 hours, which is 5 p.m.
at both
On
days,
and, huh?
both days,
No, Sunday as always. Only Monday.
only Monday is earlier.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I put Heiner's day, 6:30 a.m. my time. Oh,
Uh,
ooh.
you see, he has a conflict.
I can do Sunday. Monday is more difficult.
And you can set up the machine
I
or
can
give
set
me,
up,
or you can
no,
give me
because,
the password, the Ken word, but then I cannot switch on your Read AI machine. I could only switch on going into this machine.
yeah, because I use Zoom for this other event as well.
Uh-huh.
So I can definitely support Sunday. Monday, is it possible to find someone else?
Okay, I'll look for something else.
But I can definitely support you on Sunday.
Well, on Sunday, we just have a normal session, and maybe you give me 20 minutes speaking time, or if you don't want, I don't mind.
No, no, no. Heiner, you're welcome to take 20 minutes on Sunday, the 7th. Okay. I
Hmm.
just need to get clear in my mind that you wanted to either start at this time or you want to start earlier.
On Monday, earlier because at this
Heiner. I'm talking
time,
about Sunday. I'm trying to talk about Sunday.
everything as usual.
Okay, Sunday is this particular call just like it is. Okay. It's Monday that I have a conflict. You want to start earlier. Okay.
If it's too early for you, I'll bring you a coffee.
If you bring me a coffee, I'll do it. I'll make you that commitment, Heiner. Okay? Come all the way here, bring me a coffee. I promise you I'll set up Zoom for you.
Well, I see
Okay.
Kayla is just joining. Maybe
Oh,
she can
Kayla.
bring the coffee.
No. You're the one who asked. Okay. All right. Anyway, I've got it on my calendar, Heiner, but only for Sunday.
Well, you miss the chance to really meet this international Asia, Europe people, and I wanted you to have to be my star, as that we are not only East-West, but also Europe in between.
Okay, see, now you're buttering me up. Now you're getting me interested. Okay. But before, all you just said was start Zoom for me. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
You're my star anyway. But you have to get up early, I tell you.
Yeah, you're saying that's 2 hours. I would have to wake up 2 hours earlier than normal. Okay. All right.
And you can start the session and then you can run away. I think you have, like me, many devices.
Wait. You want me to be the star and yet able to run away? I'm hearing a conflict of messaging here.
I allow you to run away after 15 minutes. If you stay on, you can stay for 2, 3 hours if you don't mind.
All
But
right.
look at my email, then you see the locations with this calligraphy and all this civic cultured people.
Is it the actual, is your birthday on the 8th?
Yes,
Okay. All right.
that's why I have to do it on the 8th,
Okay.
like we did 4 years ago. It's the same crowd, but maybe more
Mhm.
and maybe more diverse.
Okay.
I remember. I was
All right.
there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was
I
there
have
for
to
your
find the
birthday.
recording. So make sure you also come on Sunday and Monday.
I can't guarantee that I'm like really busy.
No,
Sorry.
no, you have to guarantee and you have to bring the copy.
But it's nice to hear you're a Sagittarius. Woo!
It's such ugly times and such ugly questions. Jack was just asking me.
Okay. All right. I'll see if I can switch things around for that particular day.
We talk tomorrow.
Okay. Very good.
I'm in a Bach choir also at 5:30, 6 o'clock tomorrow that time.
So you're singing.
No, my friend is singing. I'm
Okay.
the honorary guest. But I send you the invitation and then we can continue the Bach oratorium and I keep the microphone and the Zoom session on. So you get a
Heiner.
little bit culture here. I mean,
Oh, we can
you
get a lot of
deserve it.
culture here. And one day I would eventually like to visit you in Berlin, and let's go visit a Brandenburg festival. Okay, let's go listen to all six Brandenburg concerti. Okay, see if we can find that event.
Okay, so then it's set. We see us at the same time tomorrow. I switch my camera off and you look in the email so you know a little bit about the people. And Kayla, you have to
Yes.
take on my job. I'm gone now.
Okay. I don't know what his job is, but okay.
I don't know either. So Jack, explain Explain Heiner to us, please.
Explain what?
Heiner.
There's no explaining Heiner. He's one.
Tammy did it once. Heiner in a nutshell and Heiner on the hot seat. And I think it was a good exercise, maybe 7 or 8 years ago.
Well, I think of quarks and dark energy and things like that. And Heiner is one of those unknowables.
Didn't we just detect Heiner?
Huh?
One of our instruments just picked up a signal from Heiner. So Heiner exists.
Yes, only in ether space.
There we go. There's another signal right there. Heiner, I think you live on 3I Atlas and you're visiting the solar system occasionally.
I watch Star Talk when I'm eating breakfast. That's Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yes.
He's on YouTube. They flood him with adverts, but it's still worth it.
Okay, all right. I will stop. Anyway, so which event did you want to mention about Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Well, any one of them. The thing is, when I was in junior high school and they launched the first Sputnik, I instantly transitioned from being a normal kid that played with roller skates to being an uber geek and reading up on chemistry and electricity and the cosmos and all the rest of it. And I'm hearing him and his guests go through the stuff that I was doing. My God, 70 years ago. It's just really cool.
Yeah, Sputnik changed a lot of things.
Yes, it did. It really, really did. And now the Chinese are doing the same thing to us.
Well, in Sputnik, there was somebody that actually responded and rallied the nation to respond. Whether for good or for bad, that person was able to affect change.
Yeah, but
Now,
we
at
don't
this
have that
point,
guy around.
not only that, even if somebody stood up and said, let's do the following, we don't have the capacity here in the country, in this country. Not any longer. It used to be decades ago, people would come, they would be drawn by the quality of US education, especially the higher degree programs, the quality of the technology innovation and VC funding of good ideas. And they would just want to be here and just leverage the shit out of it. Sorry. But now I see a lot of people coming and leaving. They don't want to stay in the US anymore. They have better opportunities back where they came from.
And you're even talking about leaving.
Not just talking. My renters have already, moved in across the street.
So you're back in the old house that I stayed in.
that you have visited
Yeah.
twice, for the record, Jack. Thank you for
Yeah.
visiting twice.
I
There are
like
very few
that
people
house,
that
by the
visited
way.
twice. Kayla's one of them as well.
I really like that house. Heiner's raised his hand, but
Yes, I have a question for Jack. Did you run into Carl Sagan and his first and second wife? Because this was in Pasadena one of the big things of going alien and then all the mission to really observe the pale gray dot, the pale dot. We were doing the International Space Year at that time before Rio, so it must have been 91 or 92. And it was so exciting. They had the new journal out, and we had all read his books before. And this is what we really need. We need a Carl Sagan coming out of America and having a trim tab.
well, when you say did I run into him? No, I'm very familiar with him from reading the books and watching the Cosmos TV show. And Neil deGrasse Tyson decided to do a remake of the Cosmos, and I never did get to see that one because it was on some cable channel, I think. But I'd like to see it show up on YouTube eventually. Um, but do you know that I think it was Eisenhower before Sputnik decided to declare the International Geophysical Year, IGY. And this was at the height of the Cold War. And he got all the nations of the planet, except a few, actually doing geophysical studies and publishing in scientific journals in collaboration, which I think was a landmark idea. I
I
grew up in
was
that.
I was very deep into that. I was with the Alfred Wegener Foundation. That was this guy who had the ideas of the planetary shifts of the Schollen. Uh, anyway, he was screwed all his life and he died in an exhibition in the Arctic. But he was this Alfred Wegener really integrator of all these geoscientific organizations. And I was working with Kluwer Academic Publishers and for the Alfred Wegener Foundation doing a market a trade fair for geosciences and an exhibition and a lot of things. And there, the international geophysical organizations with all the others were still together. And then they
Mhm.
broke it apart, and all the organizations wanted to now being advisors to the Chancery and to the Commission in Brussels. It is really a nightmare of this splittering and not lumping, which was possible in the old Humboldtian days. And so Carl Sagan was for me, how do you say, a pinnacle, a fundament, a star.
He was that, yeah. He also died of leukemia. He and King Hussein both had two two bone marrow transplants, and both died after 10 years of the second transplant. And Sam has his hand up.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. When it comes to Carl Sagan, I do have to just have a moment of silence. The guy was so expansive and visionary, and spiritual, I would say, in his thinking and his communication. I attended one of his lectures, I think I mentioned to some of you before, in Albuquerque, where he did the Fermi paradox. And this is the question: it says, is there life out there? So he went through all the assumptions of ratios and billions and billions. This is where he got famous for his billions and billions flaws. And what I prefer about the way Carl communicates versus Neil, Neil does a good job, but I think Carl was much more spiritual, much more attuned to the awe of the universe and communicating that. And he didn't inject his personality so much into his lectures, whereas I feel that Neil does a little bit.
That's Neil's brand. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
he does have a brand.
yeah. So anyway, Carl is one of those pinnacles, and I think Heiner, I think that's a perfect word for Carl Sagan. The world lost a great one, and unfortunately, we don't have another Carl. We have a Neil, but he's not a Carl, and we need someone else to step forward. Over.
Well, yet Neil is fundamentally he's in the marketing business. He's marketing astrophysics, the cosmos. Carl was more. You said Carl was spiritual. Neil admits he's an atheist. There is no God, and
Oh, so does Carl. Carl is not a religious person, but he is very spiritual. Spirit
well,
has nothing to do with religion, actually, in my opinion.
so I put both Carl and Neil in the same bucket as great storytellers of science. And well, Carl went out of his way to be rather accurate. Neil brings in a comedian as his foil. Uh, and so it's not just two talking heads. There's this third one that sits there and bursts out with, "Oh my God, that can't be right," and goes off into some joke space. Um, so he's more the entertainer to me than Carl was.
Yeah, see, to me, that detracts, especially having a comedian that sort of just riffs on what Neil is saying. To me, it's distracting and it's not allowing one to really sit with the core of the awesomeness that is being communicated. That's to me, though.
Well,
That's how it hits me.
I think well, sure it's detracting, but that's because you're a geek. Neil is trying to bring it to people who aren't geeks. Heiner's got a hand up.
Yes. Um, have you looked into his personal life on how he really left all his academia and went into politics, bringing Russia and America together? And have you looked into his first wife with his son? I think his name is Dorian.
That's
And
great. That's great.
second wife, who was an assistant, who was
And
an
Ryan,
artist. Both were very spiritual, but totally different. And anyway, it is a real story um, how Carl was managing it. So only for you to check out your BART or whatever system you use to go to the roots of it.
well, his first wife was she's the one that said that bacteria had migrated into cells And scientists said, no, that's not possible. And they basically blackballed her until they found out she was right.
Typical of a man.
Hmm?
Just kidding. Nothing.
No, it's important,
No, no, it's not.
Kayla.
I was
Let's not,
saying that's very typical of men, but
yes,
Of course it
continue.
is.
yes, especially
It,
in
it
Continue.
science.
Mhm.
well, look, Al Einstein, science originally took a look at his equations and said that can't be right. And then of course they decided no, it's not only is it right, we've got a winner here. Um, but his first wife, uh, Sagan's first wife, ultimately became quite the hero.
Well, she reviewed a lot of his thinking and papers. He
Yep,
had to bounce ideas off of her and get
yep,
her,
yep.
acquiescence. And
I often wondered why they divorced.
I think I used to know the story. I don't know the story anymore.
I think it is a tragic story between a triage or how do you say, ménage à trois. But
So
if you
Andrian
really
was,
look into the personalities of the three persons and how much harm was there and how much love and friendship was there and how it all together reached for each of them something very, very much. So the story is very dear to my heart. And I really urge you, Jack, to look into the Cosmos series. It was something very important for me.
I think Jack did mention
um,
that. People who can communicate such deep ideas, such transcendent ideas that pull together, yes, so much of our understanding of the universe. Those people are rare. And Carl was one of the few who could really do it well. And in fact, easily, because he had a mastery of the topics and do it with a sense of wonder, kind of like a child. And I think that gets lost in the comedic banter, that's not focusing on the science and not focusing on the awe. That's just me, though.
so Andrian was his third wife, and it was his second wife that was the acrimonious one.
You talking about Carl's first wife?
Lynn Margulis, there's no mention that it was acrimonious. The second divorce was acrimonious, involving legal battles over jurisdiction and finance. Andrian was his third wife shortly after his second divorce.
I'll add a positive note, however, regarding Neil deGrasse Tyson. One of his favorite stories that I like hearing him tell is how Neil became an astrophysicist. Have you guys seen or heard him tell the story?
Let's hear you tell it.
What I remember is that he applied to be in the astronomy or astrophysics department at Cornell. And Carl either wrote him a letter or called him up and said, "Why don't you come visit?" And this is when he was a teenager in high school.
Yes, yes.
And so Neil was surprised that he got a response from Carl. He went up there, spent at least a day or maybe a weekend with him. And Carl, like, just infused him with this excitement of science and in particular astrophysics, and encouraged him so much that that's how he became as much of a storyteller as he is, and basically is the closest thing we have to a Carl Sagan wannabe today.
That's why I brought him up.
Yes,
And that is the story he tells, yes.
yes. I think he tells it
Now,
very well. I don't do it justice.
you did it well. See, the thing is that he went he went to his high school was one of the two elites in New York City, Stuyvesant or whatever it's called. And they sent him over to the Hayden Planetarium to hear lectures that they couldn't give him. And now he's the director of Hayden Planetarium. So he got a what I would call a shitload of power boost as a kid.
Yep. And oh, by the way, the fact that both of them come from Cornell says great things about Cornell.
Yep.
It's one of the four schools I applied to, by the way.
And since you went to Stanford, why didn't you go to Cornell?
My dad went to Stanford. I didn't know
Ah,
anything about these schools. I just applied where my parents told me to apply. And for the record, it was Stanford, MIT, Cornell. I actually forget the fourth school that I applied to. MIT is probably over the top. Where most schools send you a letter of acceptance, MIT sent me cardstock, thick, embossed certificate of admission to the school. It's not just a letter. I still have it somewhere. It's very unique.
but you didn't go there.
I did not go there. I didn't go to MIT, didn't go to Cornell. Basically, my parents eventually said it's too cold there in winters, California is better. And my dad had his PhD from Stanford. And I didn't know anything about any of these schools. Should have done the research, but I didn't. So I just went where my dad recommended.
I don't think Stanford is a slouch of a school. You could have done worse. Now, MIT would have sent you out and you would have been a snub. We probably wouldn't know you and wouldn't like you if we did.
Careful, you and I both know people from MIT.
We both know, well, look, I had two roommates both from MIT,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned how to live with them, but they were their own kind of people.
And if you believe that about MIT, I'm waiting to hear your stories about Harvard grads.
So I don't actually really know any Harvard grads.
I actually do.
Oh, wait a minute. No, I don't.
I was very disappointed in the fact that Harvard caved to the administration's funding threats.
Yep, With their law school, they should have been able to beat it.
Bingo. What the hell are they teaching people if they cannot recognize criminal behavior and fight back against it?
Exactly. That is exactly the point.
And the president just caved. Spineless, unprincipled, and he represents the damn school.
No, the whole thing is criminal behavior. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, but most people are too cowardly to call it what it is. That's another reason I really respect Mary Bruce, the journalist, who asked the Saudi prince and Trump right to their faces about the murder of Khashoggi, the journalist. She's the only person with balls in that room.
He's the one that said, "Quiet, piggy."
Yes, yes. And all the men in that room had no testicles. She was the only one. I'd like to look up what else she does and what else she's written and what she's working on. I respect her. By the way, another famous astrophysicist, I once had the honor of being in her astrophysics class. She was substituting one day for astrophysics, and the regular professor was unable to teach that one day. This is Sally Ride,
Oh dear.
and this is after she had been selected for the astronaut program. And I think this might have been before she actually went up or after. I forget the timing. But anyway, the entire session was not so much about astrophysics as it was about her storytelling, which is really, really fun. So I get to say I was in a class being taught by Sally Ride, at one time. Another pioneer. Don't ask me anything about astrophysics. Celestial mechanics is really hard if you have to do it in your head.
I'm eager to know, have you ever heard about this Alfred Wegener I was just mentioning? Because for me, he was this outstanding hero, like Carl, maybe 50 years earlier. Alfred Wegener.
Unfortunately, I have to admit I am ignorant on his name.
I've heard the name, but I can't place it.
We have a little museum in the village where he was when I'm north of Berlin with a friend. He has a little house in the woods at a lake, and he was from this Zechliner Hütte, and he was such an outstanding, unafraid, explorative, special mind. Maybe we should create such an Hall of Fame.
It says here
So,
Alfred Lothar Wegener, climatologist and geologist, geophysicist, meteorologist, and polar researcher.
so you where? What did you say, Hooter? Where did that come in?
Hütte.
Hooter.
Yeah, I believe
What
it's
was what?
H.
It's U umlaut TER something. Okay. Uh, because I actually met Ulrich Hooter when I was in West Berlin at a conference. He was there, and I asked him if I could come by his uh, his university, and he said no, they were very busy. So then, when I was allowed to speak, I showed a lecture and pictures of my windmill, and I said things that I knew he had written about. So when I was finished speaking, he said, "Will you come to our university as soon as this meeting ends?" And so I went to his university and gave a lecture to his students, and and he was the main person designing wind power systems in Germany at the time, um, and it was at Stuttgart. And his brother Aldrich was the main guy designing sailplanes, gliders. And windmills are just gliders with a bearing, so it seems to run in the family. I got to eat lunch with him in the professor's dining room, and in the elevator going away, he said, "I am going to try and get a guest worker permit so you can come and teach." And I thought, oh shit, what, what, what am I going to do with that?
Well, you could use it as a cover for your real mission, Jack, which was to smuggle East Berlin academics into West Berlin.
Well, yeah, I did go into East Berlin at the time and didn't like it. But we went up into that TV tower, and there's a restaurant in the TV tower, and it didn't go well in there.
Trivia question for Heiner. Heiner, where you live, is that in West Berlin or is that what used to be East Berlin? I'm assuming it's West Berlin.
Well, when you come on Monday, you go to the deepest East Berlin, where we have the Kunsthochschule Weißensee. This is where film and media and all this was developed in East Germany. But I'm making a twin with my tea salon. Every 2 weeks in winter, in the East, in the deepest East of the civic culture people, and the other 2 weeks in a museum close to my home, and which is in the green, in the leafy area close to the harbor, close to the Olympic Stadium.
So where are you in relation to that gigantic TV tower?
Pond?
Where are you in relation to the ball in the sky that's a television tower?
Well, I'm by S-Bahn. It's one line. I can be there in 35 minutes because I'm at the east-west track of the rapid train. Um, but I know Alexanderplatz. I told you I was in town and state planning, and my people really looked into the history of Berlin and the modern reconstruction, not only of Potsdamer Platz and eco cities. But I have a question. What was his name? Aldrich?
Ulrich Hooter was
I
a
don't get it
sailplane.
acoustically. Can you please write it?
Well,
Because
Aldrich, and then
Eldridge
Aldrich
and
Hooter,
first name
Aldrich, Aldrich.
and first name?
I just spelled it.
No, the first name.
Aldrich.
The Hütte, I think he was talking about, right? H U umlaut T T
Oh
E.
shit.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
guys, with your pronunciation and your spelling, can you type it? Please.
All right, I will go into the chat
Excuse
room.
me, Germany and English, I mean, German and English is divided not by the Atlantic, but our different pronunciations of the vowels. It is a
Oh, yes, I
nightmare.
know.
I
It's a
know. Yeah. And Americans even go abroad to London and tell them how to speak English.
Now I
May
can't
I?
put the umlaut in the Hooter. They were at Stuttgart.
Yes. Anyway, I'm into other business. I really enjoy being with you, but I'm really, how do you say, cut into pieces mentally.
Geschnit.
No, we say
May,
geschnibbelt. Put it
okay,
into
okay.
small potatoes.
Okay. I then change the subject slightly. Ah, darn. I was going to ask Kayla, but she just left. I think we bored her.
See, when I was in West Berlin at that meeting, I used to walk down the Dam, which went all the way up to Checkpoint Charlie. And it was through Checkpoint Charlie that I went into East Berlin and then got on that train that Heiner was mentioning and took it to the to um, the off to the station train station where the TV tower was. And the story that the West Berliners gave us was that the Pope gave East Berlin $1 million to rebuild after the war, and they decided what they wanted was a TV tower. They wanted a television station. So they built the TV tower, and in the TV tower, there were 3 levels. You had to go up an elevator. Um, and at the first level was basically kind of like the Disneyland for East Berliners. You could go up there and stare out at the West Berlin. East Berlin, all the lights were dark, but in West Berlin, all the lights were on. Everything was black, bright. And so the East Berliners, I saw them standing at the window looking towards down the Dam. The second level up was a rotating ring. You got on the ring and you sat at a table, and then the in the middle of the dome was where they cooked your meals, and the waitresses would bring your meals from the non-moving to the moving, and occasionally they would trip and fall. And then the third level was the TV station, and Sam says it's time to go.
I really apologize. I know that we have some momentum here, but I am going to my class now. So hopefully we see you tomorrow, which will not have this hard cutoff with the 1 hour boundary. Okay?
All right.
Much thanks.